Scott and I and a friend of ours were out scouting, looking around for, whatever we could find, because we had an upcoming camping trip here. So we had been on that side, and we walked down the road here, come back up this side, walked through the woods down there, and there was a tree down at the bottom, and they stopped because there was some handprint or scrubbings or something on the bottom of the tree they were looking at. Is that right? So they stopped to look at that. I kept coming on the ridge, and I got up here, and I was looking down like at our cars down there now, looking at the road, and it was quiet. I heard like a click or something. Something got my attention. I took one step back and looked about my 4 o'clock over towards those trees, and I'm looking about 25 yards away. I see something behind one of the trees. And I'm looking, in your mind, you're trying to think, is that a bear? What is that, because you don't know. The hands were wrapped around the tree, and it was kind of like leaning to the left side. And I'm still looking like you're in shock. I could see this right shoulder was still on that side of the tree.
Oh, wow.
So I said, Scott, I thought they were right behind me. Well, they weren't. They were still at the bottom.
We were way down that trail.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking at it again. It's doing like this bouncing kind of thing. And I know it sees me because I'm looking at it in its eyes. It's looking at me. We made eye contact. And it started bouncing a little bit more. And I say, Scott! And he heard my voice, and he said he knew something was wrong then.
Yeah. We came down that trail and got up here, and she was looking that direction, and she was like, you could tell the adrenaline was running through her. She was like a tickle me on my... We got up here and said, what is it? And we wasn't sure.
Well, I was pointing.
Yeah. And she says, I saw it right there. And we're like, well, where?
Mm-hmm.
And she says, right there behind that tree. And her and our friend walked over and stood behind that tree.
Yeah.
And wasn't but about 25 yards away. And I said, well, how high was it? She got pointing to the tree.
Yeah.
I mean, they're standing on the back side of that tree, and I'm looking at it like, wow, this guy's pretty tall.
Mm-hmm.
He says, when y'all started coming up, he dropped down and took off.
It dropped like a puff of smoke. Poof, it was gone. And the only thing, when we went over there and found where it was standing at, you could see where something on all fours had dug in.
Oh, wow.
I mean, and just cut through the...
Really?
There's a big...
Did you hear it?
I didn't hear anything. Other than me calling his name, and I
Yeah.
love this. If I had, I was a cop for over 20 years.
Oh, okay.
If I had gave that description out of the height, I would have said about 6 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
But when you get over there, you can see it was on a decline.
Oh, okay.
So it was standing on it had to be like 7 or 7.5 foot tall.
At least.
Wow.
At least. It made enough good track. Me and our friend, we trailed down to this ravine.
Right.
So when you get down to this ravine, it's a pretty good distance across that ravine. It didn't run down through the ravine. It jumped
Wow.
all the way to the other side. Good 13, 14 yards across that ravine.
Wow.
For there.
Jeez.
Yeah, like I said, it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I wasn't expecting anything.
Yeah.
The biggest thing I'm afraid of out here is hogs.
Right.
There's so many hogs, and usually I do carry. Didn't have my cell phone. Everything was in the Jeep.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have thought about it. Honestly, I wouldn't have thought about any of that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't black. It was like a cinnamon color. That's the best way to describe it. It like a huge guy to me wearing a heavy, like a fur coat.
Mm-hmm.
No hair on the face. It looked like clay, but it had these huge. They were either dark brown or black eyes. But
Wow.
I know it meant for me to see it. Otherwise, I wasn't looking that way. I was looking this way.
Yeah. Right.
So,
Why'd you turn around and look at it?
there
Yeah.
was always one click, so it had to come from him, or it, or she, whatever.
Yeah.
Because I looked, directly where it come from.
And how long did you watch it for?
I heard the click, took a step back, and I looked. So I've seen it for about a couple of seconds. I'm trying to, in your mind, you're trying to think, what is that?
Yeah.
Because there's nothing there to compare it to. You've never seen it. I have never seen it out that. Looked at it, called Scott, maybe 2 more seconds, and then, like I said, it was doing this
Yeah.
kind of bouncy thing, and as soon as I called Scott again, boom. So it matters
gone.
maybe 5 or 6 seconds.
Wow. That's cool.